Good afternoon, guys. Today I'm going to attempt to follow a tutorial that was put out by a YouTube channel called Woodland Inspired. I believe her name is Celeste. I will link her channel below. I had asked that she do a tutorial on a little ephemera holder that she had made, and she did one for me back in November, and I'm just now getting all of my stuff together and a little bit of time in my week to sit down and try it myself. So what you'll need are some wax lunch bags. I showed those first. I've got little trim that I have cut with an edge punch, and I have some clear sheet protectors. I've cut them in half, so they'll be just one layer thick. And then I've got two sheets of cardstock that are 12 by 12. For these, the lunch bags I believe are 8.5 by 6.5. So you're going to cut a sheet of cardstock that is 7 inches tall by 6 inches wide. And I'm setting the end cuts and scraps from that aside for making ephemera to go in the ephemera holder. I decided to go ahead and make 2 of them just to make, if you're making one, you might as well make 2 or more. That's always been my opinion about these things. She also has used vellum, and I really like the way vellum looks, and honestly, it's probably a lot easier to work with. Getting this plastic to stay still and go under my sewing machine without sliding around was very challenging, and for some reason the glues that I was using did not want to hold it. I used Fabri-Tac, which I thought was my strongest glue, but looking back now, I would probably just cut a little piece of double-sided tape to hold it down while I sewed the pockets down onto the cardstock, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. So I'm cutting 2 clear pockets for each ephemera holder. One is 6 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall. The other is 6 inches wide by 3 inches tall. And then the little trims that you're going to put on top of the pocket edges are going to be 6 inches wide, and you can use cardstock. You can have a piece of folded paper that you fold around the edge of the plastic. Or you can use lace. I decided against lace because this plastic was kind of giving me fits already, so I wanted to do something that would allow me to, glue it down before I sewed it. So that's why I chose the cardstock punch edge pieces there. And you'll see me make some mistakes. I did make a lot of mistakes. I'm not real good about measuring everything. I'm not real good about going super slow and taking my time, and she's really good at that. Hers turned out impeccable and just gorgeous, and mine are you'll see I have some puckering that happened, and it ended up with a little bit of hangover that I had to trim. But all in all, I was happy with the results, and I think they would be super cute to send as Happy Mail to another junk journaler. Here I am. I'm just using 2 tiny dots of glue to the top of each of the clear pocket strip pieces to hold down that trim. That's when I realized that I had the wrong trim pieces. I actually cut some too short, but I did not get them out of my way, and that was my mistake. So I grabbed those and tried to glue them down first, and realized the second one was about 1 inch short. So here are the correct ones. I did not mean to get my face in the shot, but I was having trouble seeing today. It's so overcast and yucky today. Okay, so even here I am not thinking clearly, and I'm trying to put the larger pocket on the top, but I'll realize that mistake in a minute. They're only a 1/2 inch different in height, so it was kind of hard to because they're clear, it was kind of hard to see on my mat which one was which. I'm just laying them down first to see how they look. This is, I think, when I realized that I had them switched. I'm laying them down first just to see how they look before taking them to the sewing machine, because you will need to sew down the trim to the plastic strip first before assembling the whole thing. And I'm measuring about 1 inch from the top to place the first pocket. And the other pocket lays on top of that one, and it lines up with the bottom of the card. So here I've already sewed it. You can see that line. I decided to use brown thread. This whole project ended up being sort of like earthy colors, which is normally not my go-to color palette, but today for some reason I was just feeling it, so it's sort of like a earthy forest type theme that I ended up going with. Maybe I'm just kind of overdone, like sort of oversatiated with Christmas colors. So I was trying to think of something opposite. I guess the opposite would be like bright pastels, but whatever. These are just the papers that jumped out at me when I went through my stash this morning. I've got a little piece of washi tape holding down each so that when I take it to the sewing machine they won't slide around, although they still kind of did. But this one turned out better than the peach colored one. The peach colored one had a little bit of ruching going on. I'm rounding the corners. My punch did not cut through the plastic, so I ended up having to trim that with scissors. So here I'm back, and I've done both of them, and I've sewn around the entire thing to hold the pockets down. I did not show the sewing on camera, including the sewing that holds the bottom of the top pocket down so that the pieces that you put in the top pocket won't fall all the way through. So you can use double-sided tape for that as well. That would probably be much easier. And you won't see it if you hide it behind that bottom pocket trim there. So now I am taking off, I'm laying the pieces onto the lunch bags to see if they fit. I'm grabbing my double-sided tape. I don't know what happened to my really good red line double-sided tape. I have lost it. I've looked everywhere. So this is just a really thin roll of double-sided tape that my daughter received years ago in one of those craft kits for girls. But you know what? It serves the purpose, so I went ahead and used it today. And just for good measure, after I get the double-sided tape peeled off and or the paper layer peeled off, I go ahead and put a thin coat of glue stick all over this card just to make sure that it would adhere to the bag all the way through, not have an air gap. So now you have an ephemera holder that has two clear pockets and then obviously a very large bag pocket at the top. So let me show you what I filled it with. I made a giant tag for the top, and then I have a little journaling card and a mini file folder, a little tiny envelope, a recipe card, an embossed card, and a tag. perfect for a Happy Mail or stocking stuffer or whatever. Thanks for watching today. Have a great one.